And something that has been core to my ministry ever since I was ordained at Chi in 2005 is music. And I have found that this is a language which enhances my ministry and my life in so many ways. So just reflecting on a few of those things, I find a sacred combination with the language of music. And it has something to do with the interface of meaning, metaphor, and memory. And I have expressed this through working with the Threshold Choir. I've directed several Threshold choirs in the past 10 years, and this is a network of women who prepare to sing at the bedsides in small group with people who are nearing the end of life. And what we find with this musical language is that often as life is ebbing, the ability to have a conversation and sit directly and communicate about things that matter is on the wane on the verbal level. In fact, sometimes we are with someone who seems to have completely stopped communicating. What an amazing thing to bring music into a situation where it unlocks that person's capacity to connect when other pathways have left. We've seen this over and over. Music is a whole brain phenomenon. So it has to do with rhythm, words, pitch. It gets in there so that even when parts of the brain are no longer able to come forward in a direct way to communicate, music reaches through.
Blessed am I, Spirit am I am the infinite within my soul. I can find no beginning, I can find no end. All this I am.
Another thing that I find is that in ministry we often are helping people think about how do you harvest the meaning of your life. As you're looking at the end story, what sense do you make out of who you've been? Music is an incredible tool because people's most important memories are usually associated with music of that time. So you may try on a verbal level to make a connection with that and be getting nowhere. Bring the music in. Instant connection, instant resurgence.
One bright morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
Whether it be hymns, being aware of certain hymns that bring comfort, that bring peace, that bring, and this is another very important experience in my musical experience, bring metaphor forward. Music can deliver a healing metaphor in a powerful way. So for example, some of the songs that we really find powerful to use have to do with crossing the river, taking flight, coming home. So when you can deliver that kind of metaphor through the music, it floats over the situation like a blanket of love. And it is absorbed in a way that is compatible with that liminal space that occurs when life is on the wane and the next stage is coming. So music is an incredible bridge, a comfort, a sustainer, and essential to my ministerial existence.
Never thought my heart could be so yearning. Why did I decide to roam? Gotta take that sentimental journey home.
One person I see regularly and use music with is 93. And for her, one of the anchoring experiences of her young life was going to see South Pacific on Broadway. All I have to do is bring forward the song, "Some Enchanted Evening." Her face lights up. She becomes 22 years old again. We have relived that memory probably 40 times. Every time with the same vitality and meaning for her. What this does is it helps her to reestablish her sense of connection with her deeper identity. So this is part of the gift of music that I find. It's a language that connects and can reach through when other ways of connecting become difficult.
While the moon her watch is keeping all through the night, while the weary world is sleeping all through the night.
The meaning of music starts out on the personal level. So I think as a minister and as a person, the first thing is to connect with what is my own jukebox of soulful music. What do I use to inspire myself, to lift my spirits, to keep my mind on larger verities of life? And I do have my own musical prescription, that I use personally in different ways. And I have done this for many years, before I ever heard of the Chaplaincy Institute. So this is kind of embedded in me. So once you have your own connection to the music that is your way of bringing your own self into presence, then you can move from there to think, what is my ministerial toolkit in the music department?
Life is but a dream. Life is but a stream. Life is but a stream. Life is down the stream. Life is but a dream. Life is but a stream. Life is but a dream. Life is but a dream.
How do you feel about the process of picking the song that you think would be best for a patient in terms of working with their soul?
I see spiritual assessment, including an assessment of the person's relationship to music. And this can be done in a very casual way. Is music something that's been important along the way? Some very open-ended question. And you may have, doesn't really connect. Or you may have, we sang all the time in my family. I used to love the hymns. I remember those crooner tunes. So you may get clues that will help you know where to go. Something that's peaceful, simple, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. So something that speaks metaphorically, conveys a peaceful imagery, that's the kind of area that you would come in with. And then it's looking for that match with, so what's meaningful to that person?
Ooh.
in looking at the oldies, some just fit better than others. One of my favorites for the bedside is Shenandoah. I have always had a powerful response to that song. Away, we're bound away, across the wide Missouri. It creates that metaphor. I'm bound away. And it's familiar, people have a history with it. Another important point about music is that it can be a way that the family engages, sometimes at a time when it's hard to know what to do. They've worked, they've tried, things aren't working, things aren't looking good. There can be a sense of lostness. And then you go in and say, how might music be a comfort to your loved one? And especially if this is a family that has sung together and that's meaningful for, how powerful it is for, sometimes a family will bring in a hymnal and bring forward the hymns that were the favorites. One song will land one way for one person and another way for another. So you always go in open, sensing, looking, adjusting, always knowing that it may be that the person in general likes music, but it might not be a good time. So if someone's able to communicate, you can say something like, would you like to hear another song, or would you rather rest? So really just giving people permission and keeping connected to what that moment might need. When we're ministers, I know that one thing that is a common thing we do is, as we're entering the room of somebody, to stop and center ourselves and really get ready to be a channel for the divine. The same thing with music. It's an opening to the intuition and how that will guide the process. So when that happens, sometimes a song will come into your mind and you're not even expecting it. And I've learned to trust those intuitions.
There is a secret one inside. All the stars and all the galaxies run through her hands like bees.
I hear that you see a connection between music and the divine. How do you think that occurs? Is it possible to quantify it, or is it just like intuition?
I think that music and soul have been intertwined in the human experience from antiquity. I think music is a cultural, embedded way of communication. And if anything, in our modern world, we've lost the sense of that. But that's what we come from. Music as a cultural foundation and framework. We need to return to that. And that's part of what led me to bring the Sacred Singing Circle, because I feel that when we can learn sacred songs together, when we can share that, we become connected in an important way. And I find it very powerful to bring soulful songs into a context where people are receptive to that. It becomes a vehicle for connection within and a vehicle for connecting with, the spirit of people who are gathered in that. Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking, sun is a rising in my soul.
Yonder come day, day is a breaking. Yonder come day, oh my soul. Yonder come day, day is a breaking, sun is a rising in my soul.
One thing I wanted to mention is the particular meaning that it has for me to use music as an interfaith clergy. When we can prepare ourselves to be ready to meet people of different backgrounds with a song that connects for them, this can be an incredibly powerful way of specifically and explicitly demonstrating, I'm here with you, I see you, I value who you are, and I want to connect with you in your way. My God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. You can learn, you can resource yourself, you can have all kinds of knowledge under your belt, and that's a very good thing. Get that as the foundation, and then walk into the unknown from there. Because whatever you know is not the moment. It just prepares you to meet the moment with presence. So it's just bringing yourself back to center, feeling the oneness that you have with that person, with, in my theological understanding, with all that is. And it's sort of like attuning yourself, like a tuning fork, attuning yourself to presence. And once you have that attunement, the intuition is just a part of you that's always there, it's always operating. You just have to get the mental din to slow down enough that you can hear what's really always speaking to you. I'll just close with a little song for you. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround